Hello and welcome to Con Air, the podcast. I am Mark Onions and Chicken Legs Hoffmeyer.
I am Jay, Useful Mammal Cluett. Welcome you aboard Con Air, the podcast, chapter 26. On this show, Mark and I fly away through Con Air, scene by scene, with some wonderful guests, and this is chapter 26. What happens in Con Air chapter 26? Well, Garland Green wanders through a fence and past some caravans before seeing a young girl playing with toys in an empty swimming pool. Sally can't dance, excitedly finds a dress and a suitcase. While digging out the planes, Cyrus sends Viking to fetch the tractor, whilst Poe offers to bring the fuel truck. Agents Skip Devers and Duncan Malloy head towards Lerner in their helicopter, frustrated that no one can find Larkin. Separately, Larkin and Sandino watch Poe head towards a hangar, in which he searches for a needle for Baby O's insulin, but finds only onions, chicken feet, and a guy who throws him to the ground. Up in the radio tower, Johnny 23 sees cars approaching and informs the others below that we got company. Limo Dog estimates they have at most 12 minutes for their arrival, and Garland sits down with the girl in the pool. This is basically putting all the pieces in place for the upcoming action sequences. This is a lot goes on, but it's a lot of nothing. So we need someone who can mine gold in this chapter to spin a yarn of what we're talking about here. So we've had his colleague on from Simplistic Reviews. We had DJ Valentin on earlier in the year, who it turned out hated Con Air. So I'm hoping we're not going to have the same effect here with Matthew Stewart. Matthew, welcome to the show.
Hey, I'm back. I'm the guy on the show who doesn't hate this movie.
I mean, DJ so far has been the only one who has hated it. And he came on like, hey, I didn't tell you, I hate this film.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's usually good for podcasts. You know, It's like, you guys love this movie. You guys obviously love Con Air. He hates Con Air.
He's done it twice now. He did the same thing with Deep Blue Sea. So,
I know. I think
I hate that too.
He just hates everything from the 90s, except everything. No, he hates everything from the 90s, I think. So it's just
except for Camp Nowhere and what's another sports movie? And Richie Rich. Those are what he loves.
Oh, he loves that? I was going to say a sports movie. I thought maybe The Scout he liked or something like that.
Scout, a B. Fraser movie.
B. Fraser movie, yeah. Not only Brandon Fraser, but Albert Brooks in one of his many roles. So.
You know, I was thinking about Fraser. I've been
saying
Fraser,
not Fraser.
Not Fraser
Crane.
Crane.
Fraser.
So I was thinking about digging today. There's a lot of good shovel work in this chapter, and that led me to think about Encino Man, which Jay and I covered with Brendan Fraser in it. That kid dug a gigantic hole in his backyard.
Did.
Wild. Like, where's all that going? I know he has a couple blobs around there, but that's a lot of dirt. He's not Shawshank Redemption it. Like, he's not going to school and dropping some out of his pocket. Like, there's I don't know what's happening back there, but that's good shovel work. I just want to let everyone know. When it comes to 1990s digging,
I mean, where does all the dirt go?
Mentioned the off-screen lifting of the giant block.
Yeah.
It's frozen it, which we went into when we covered that.
That's a 1,000-pound block out of a hole using a swing set and a lawnmower. Then it's placed on top of sawhorses in a shed. And most importantly, there's about 8 heaters on it. So they must have rigged the electrical outlets, or they must have found a way to power 8 heavy ampage heaters. Like, these kids are smart.
They are. It's like the kid in Stay Tuned who figures out how to hack the radio broadcast to put a signal through the devil's satellite dish in order to talk to his father and off with their head and everything. Kids in the 90s were smart.
The Wizard?
In holes. And the Wizard, I mean, he was, the Wizard, but he was just really good at video games.
Yeah, that's true. But the kid
I still stand by Pauly Shore in Encino Man being a kind of magical Mary Poppins figure who just it's the only way it makes sense.
Magical white guy type thing. Yeah, that's true.
But he picks a new student every year to fix their life, and it was Sean Astin's turn.
I feel bad for Stoney in that movie because his parents he's like, my mom's bummed out, so he has to eat at their house. He's always optimistic. Sean Astin's a brat in that movie. Like, Pauly is the heart of that film.
He's the heart of every film. Like, to Jay's point, he's like the magical mystery person that appears. Like, even in, going back where he doesn't really play, he plays the Weasel, I guess, in 1990s Class Act, the classic Kid and Play switcheroo movie where he gets them to perform the talent show together. And without the Weasel, he does promise them a stripper, I think, in that movie where he's like, buddy, see what this girl could do with her legs, and I'll see you at the talent show.
Wait, Did you just channel Paulie?
I did. Oh my God, he's in me now. It's like this is like an exorcist type scenario. Oh no,
he's there forever now.
He's always right here in my heart.
What happened to Matthew? The spirit of Pauly Shore entered him, and he
got wheezed.
Yeah, he got wheezed.
I got wheezed. I'm wheezing the juice, man.
Yeah.
There's no cure.
What's an exorcism of wheezing how do you exorcise wheeze in someone?
Well,
like, do you give them an inhaler to like cure the wheeze? Do you give them a steam to like open up their lungs?
Open up their lungs, or like a steam bath or something like that, or like sauna of some sort.
A sauna exorcism.
A sauna exorcism. You just have to sit in a dry sauna for I don't know until you die or the weasel comes out.
Wow. That's an episode of Yellowstone right there.
That is. It could be. I just finished the first season of that, and kind of impressed by it. And also I'm kind of like, what's the big deal?
Taylor Sheridan has built an empire. He went from having his wife max out her credit cards to have him write the screenplay to get him final draft to write Sicario to having an empire. Well, a legit empire.
The Yellowstone Empire. It's pretty impressive. And
Yellowstone, L.A. Wheeze the juice. You know what the best digging moment, though, Jay, of the 1990s is?
What is it?
13th Warrior. The 13th Warrior.
With Antonio.
Where they're digging in trenches, and this guy keeps throwing mud on this dude to provoke a fight, and then he chops his head off.
Sounds good.
Little known John McTiernan movie. Nobody remembers that being John McTiernan.
I love it. And also, a quick question. Jay and Matt, you guys get off a plane. You've been in prison for many years. You run into an abandoned diner, and you find a suitcase. What's the ideal wardrobe that you hope to find in this suitcase that matches your personality? Because Sally's super stoked about
I was
the
hoping
dress.
you were going to ask this question, because if you weren't, I was. So.
Yeah. Oh, nice. That's a good alliteration there. Sally's super stoked. But yeah, so Sally's super stoked. What would you open up? Like, Jay, you open up a suitcase, and you're like, no, no, no. And then you go, yes.
Let's see. So prison clothing. What's prison clothing like? In this film, prison clothing is jeans.
Jeans and like a
tank top.
Denim
shirt. I have a denim shirt. It doesn't look good on me. So in this weather, in the weather of Con Air where it's really hot, I'd like something. I don't have the physique of any of these guys, so I'd like something kind of thin that covers everything. So like a long sleeve linen shirt would be nice.
Oh. Do you know those Columbia fishing shirts that nobody fishes in, and they're nice and you can get air through them and they're real long?
The nice vent through the back and everything like that.
Yeah. Is that something, Jay, or no? You want a nice linen shirt?
I mean that'd work. Yeah. I don't know what kind of fishing shirt you're talking about. I'm not familiar with it. What would you want? What would you hope for, Matt?
God. I mean, the prison issue outfit is already pretty good because it has the tank top, the jeans. It's already a pretty, considering every other prison issued like outfit where it's just like the orange or red or yellow jumpsuit, which is probably itchy, not very good cotton thread on it or anything like that. It's probably a blend, probably a poly cotton blend, which could be very comfortable though sometimes. I would hope for, maybe just. Think what's a good outfit like that with I'd be totally stoked for. I'd be stoked for just like a hat. I just find me a good hat, like one of those Columbia, like those fishing hats, Mark, that has a really long brim.
Yeah.
Super super long brim, so I can look like the kid from The Sandlot who gets made fun of because that's the only hat that he had in his house. As we go back to another movie in the 90s with a kid who gets bullied and everything like that. And that's how I feel this movie is. A lot of bullies in this movie.
A lot of bullies.
Trejo's got one of the guards like baseball caps, so he has a hat.
He took
there's
a
not
hat,
many of those going around.
That's a really smart idea, though, Matt, because while Viking is just sunburned beyond all belief,
I know.
He's
not going to look like a Viking anymore.
He threw his shirt. He got off the plane, threw his shirt away, and hasn't found it since. So that was last chapter. Just he threw it away and it's gone.
Yeah, he got really excited. He took his shirt off and then did a front flip into
a full flip.
Did a front flip into the sand or the
onto his back.
Onto his back. It's like oh
yeah. Just
I've removed any cushioning I had, and now I do this.
He's a big fella. He's probably got a little cushion in that back.
If your name's Viking, you don't care. Like you can't just be like ah. Like you jump on, you do a flip and land on the ground and go ooh. Like you gotta embrace it.
should. I'm going to take your name away, Viking. And that's another thing I like about this movie. You don't really know anybody's name until they tell you their name in a lot of ways. Like, would you have been able to guess like the guy's name was Viking? Probably not. Or Sally was named Sally. It's like
Sally can't dance, yeah.
Sally can't. They don't reference that name once. I don't think in the entire movie.
They don't. No, and it goes into the script is that comes from their surname sounds like that. I can't remember. I had this note a while ago. I can't remember what it is anymore. But yeah, that Sally can't dance sounded like it's like Salvatore can't dance, but as a surname.
Oh, okay.
So kind of,
A lot of thought goes into the naming of all these characters in this movie.
Do you know what I think I would wear? I want to let y'all. Have you seen You People?
Oh, the new Jonah.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Have you seen that tie-dyed outfit he has? He has a tie-dye hoodie and shorts.
Yeah, okay. I could see that. That's
I
like
would
stylish.
do that. I would wear a tie-dye hoodie and shorts. And tie-dye socks.
Just tie-dye everything. Just looking like you're going to Burning Man, which you're probably close to out there in that area right there.
Because listen, I'm an extra in this movie. I'm not getting much screen time, so I want to be seen in the background. So Ty Granderson Jones, who was on this show, there's a scene in this clip. I don't know if you noticed, Jay, when they're digging out the plane, but he's standing out of the line, wiping off his forehead. I'm like, good job, Ty. Like, you know how to get on screen. Like, that's a veteran move right there.
And then like Ving, we had him on the show. Ving got him the part of running up and you're Cyrus, and that whole conversation got cut out of the film between him and Cyrus.
He got the Osiris thing at least. He got that one thing.
Yeah. Apparently there was a lot more to it. They had a whole conversation between him and Malkovich that didn't make the cut, unfortunately.
Do you think this is the most artistically shot chapter of the entire film? Because when Garland Green is walking through the fence initially, there's some really great leading lines. And Megan walked in the room, my wife, and she goes, wow, this looks like it's from an experimental like indie film with him kind of walking through there, and then the slow motion up to the fence and the wonderful framing of Danny Trejo in the guard tower, like that wide shot. There's some pretty legit camera work in this one where it doesn't feel like the same movie, but it looks pretty great.
Yeah, it feels like each character is in their own kind of, 4 rooms.
Yeah.
We're like, I haven't seen it, if I'm aware of it and what happens. I feel like there's a different director or storyteller for each character's arc in this chapter. So like Garland Green has like the slow motion, the score going full Garland Green random noises when he's on into what I think is a dream sequence. Dig into that, but I fully think he's taken some kind of a trip and has gone into a past life, and he's sitting down with his first victim that he knew back when he was the same age as her or something. I don't know. I don't think this is really happening. There's no way of proving it.
I never thought about that.
This is the trailer park he grew up on, I think.
The entire town is deserted. So Sandino's people have killed the people in the guard tower. Like, people are dead in here.
Yeah, but they've left the girl.
Yes. Wow.
Oh, wow.
So I think maybe it's like he can smell the blood and it's sending him back into this memory. He's got a sense memory of this is the girl I killed when I was 8 years old. I grew up in this caravan. In Steve Buscemi voice, I cannot do.
Hey,
he's like,
hey,
can I?
Buscemi?
Hey,
Fargo.
Steve Buscemi here.
I got a wood chip.
I made a dream. I smell blood. I have to go to this trailer park where Sandino killed these men. Define irony. That's for later. Sorry. I'm skipping ahead.
They wouldn't leave the girl. I don't know how brutal cartels are, but if they slaughtered everybody else, you're not leaving witnesses. You're not leaving a little girl
unless she was hiding.
I mean, she is in a pool.
She is.
Maybe they just did a tertiary look, or just on the surface look, and then she was under the table.
It's not a deep pool. She's visible from the ground.
Yeah.
Her head's sticking out.
Well, she also seems very kind of okay with everything. She's having a tea party, so it's not like a kid who would be traumatized by maybe seeing her parents and
another
friends
South American drug cartel. Oh,
no, another one of these guys. We really need to move to a different trailer park, Mom and Dad. Oh no, I can't talk to Mom and Dad. They're dead now. Now I'm stuck in this pool forever.
Jeez. And when he grabs that doll by the neck.
Oh yeah.
Matt, how old were you when you first saw this?
This was 97. Is it 196, 97? I forget. I saw this in the theater, so I would have been either 13 or 14, depending on the month. So I remember seeing this, and as a kid, I would see these. My dad would take me to these movies all the time. It's like the 90s were great because we would just go to the movies all the time. He didn't care. So I think as a kid, I'm like, oh, that's a cool way to like take somebody out of a chair. But I'm also not thinking about dream sequences or like a going in a fugue state of like, this reminds me of the 1980s or something like that in the pool where I killed this little small child.
This unsettle you though, like because this is not the tone of the movie at all.
It's a different movie. I feel like we're in a completely different. This whole scene feels like, to Jay's point, 4 almost like distinct movies that are going on. We have like we got to escape we got to dig the plane out of the thing. So it's like an escape movie with an action movie with a psychological thriller going on.
Malloy endeavors on some kind of road trip.
They're on a road trip movie. It's like a planes, trains, and helicopters or something like that. It's like saving the rainforest or something. Recycling sand dunes. I like how Malloy's accent always comes out just enough. When he gets really upset, he's like goes into regular calm meanie as opposed to not American calm meanie all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, dude,
we get around it by saying he's like an Irish American guy. It's fine.
Yeah, that's true too. It's like
it's easy to get around.
He's out saving the rainforest.
Recycling his sandals.
How did he manage to make that sound so insulting?
Yeah.
He's out there doing good things.
That was the culture though in the 90s, right? Where like, at least in the States, where people were like, look,
he's helping a woman across the road.
Yeah. Look at this person recycling. Ugh. The 90s were very anti-saving the rainforest. Most people were like, look at these hippies planting a tree.
He's being a pillar of community.
Yeah. How dare they supply more oxygen?
He's helping underprivileged kids.
Must have too much free time. I wish I could do that. Lazy. I feel like that was that was a subset of human beings in the 90s right there.
I feel like it was almost all Bruckheimer movies, though. You always have those scenes, almost every Bruckheimer movie. I don't care what it is. Wow. It's that subculture of the Bruckheimer, Simon West, Michael Bay. Who's the other guy I was thinking of who did Gone in 60 Seconds?
Dominic Sena?
Dominic Sena. It's like that subsect of directors and the production offices of Jerry Bruckheimer. Don Simpson, Jerry Bruckheimer. Don't forget about Don Simpson, R.I.P. But still,
well, because the villain of Gone in 60 Seconds is Christopher Applegate, and he loves wood, which is a sustainable material.
Yeah,
and he's the bad guy. All the good guys drive cars around everywhere.
Oh man, and you know what's crazy is, Nicolas Cage, he whittles this beautiful piece of wood, and Cage breaks it, and he's like, "Oh man." Yeah, that's really interesting. And Ed Harris wants just to get payments for his soldiers that died.
Yeah, he wants reparations for his soldiers. And it's like, I want my money. It's like, Candyman's yelling at him. He's like, I don't care about this guy. I want my own money. He kills poor Bokeem Woodbine for it. Oh,
and the Ninth Doctor, Bokeem Woodbine's so good in that movie. The Ninth Doctor, though, Giovanni Ribisi's like, hey man, I'll get these cars for you. And then the Ninth Doctor goes, all right, I'll make my chair and I'll wait. And then Giovanni Ribisi fails. So then he's like, listen, Ribisi, you need to finish up this job. Like, I'm going to turn your bones into a Adirondack chair if you don't do this for me. So then Cage comes in. It's like, listen, man, you're the bad guy. He's like, no, Gio came to me. I was whittling wood, and he's like, hey, man, I was 50 cars.
I was making a coffin for somebody else, but guess what? Now it's going to be his coffin. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, how am I the bad guy here? Your little brother promised me a job. He failed. Now you guys have to do it. Or if I don't, people are going to be like, hey, man, that dude that makes chairs for his side hustle is kind of a wimp. Like, he doesn't follow through. We'll just run all over him. So he's actually the good guy of the movie.
That's the thing I think that's misplaced about who's the good guy and who's the bad guy in a lot of these Bruckheimer productions.
Eccleston's not going to say just this once everybody lives. Like he's not.
No, that's setting a bad precedent. That's bad for business. Mm-hmm. Nobody's going to take you seriously. No, like you said, nobody's going to buy you a bone Adirondack chair if you just start letting people go when they don't live up to their word of stealing you 50 really expensive cars that are being sent somewhere. I think the cars are actually the villain. The gas mileage in those cars, horrible,
Terrible.
destroying the environments, awful.
Oh, so maybe that's what Felipe's plan is, to get these cars off the streets.
Maybe
He's trying to get all these rich people to go out and buy whatever the 2,000 equivalent of a Tesla was.
And those cars are insured. Like, most of the people who have these cars, they have insurance, so they're going to get paid for that.
It's the upper 1%, so who's going to feel bad for them at the same time? It's like, look, we're redispersing wealth around the country and saving the environment.
So Eccleston's just making a stool, like a beautiful. So he took a barrel top from a wonderful Jim Beam barrel. Get some good bourbon. He fixed it onto some really neat wood staves and created a beautiful stool that you can sit on in a bar. Geo comes up to him. He's like, hey, man, let's rob these rich people and take these gas-sucking things off the planet. And then Geo fails. And then he's like, well, you got to do it again. So he's the good guy.
These are the things that people aren't talking about.
Yeah.
Well, we are.
We are.
I think I said
Finally,
before, I'd love to do
story.
60 seconds of the podcast, but I do not know enough about cars to be the right person to do that one. That's a one-off. That's not a series.
That's a good soundtrack right there. I own that soundtrack.
I love everything about that film.
Yeah, the brother's gonna work.
Wish it wasn't about cars.
That's
another thing about the 90s. Yeah, Vinnie Jones. It's the Sphinx. He's great.
You got Timmy Ollie in it and Deli Lindo.
Yeah.
The cast is nuts. Like
Lindy.
Michael Pena and John Carroll Lynch are like down there as like one scene guys.
Oh yeah.
Ew, that's disgusting. Oh man, and you got Angelina Jolie, Oscar winner, kind of being wasted in it.
Yeah.
Nick Cage, that song Lowrider's just pumping. Worst breakfast ever made.
Yeah. I don't even know. He was putting hot sauce in the eggs after he burned the eggs or something like that. I don't know.
The director just said, go full Geo. Go Ribisi.
Yeah.
Go Ribisi times 12.
Ribisi times 12. Do whatever you got to do. Make what you got to make. Like,
It's like, I don't think, he's not a human, Gio Ribisi, in that movie. Like, he's not a functioning human being in that film.
He can't steal cars correctly. He can't cook.
Nothing.
He's nothing. He's like he's a dream sequence for Nicolas Cage or something like that, where he doesn't really exist. This is Nicolas Cage's all of his failings as a husband, as a boyfriend, as a car thief. It's all manifested in this fictitious brother that he has.
A go-kart coach, his failures.
Go-kart coach, really bad at that too. Can't coach these kids how to go-kart correctly.
And so he's just manifested Geo?
Maybe. I can't prove that, Jay, or Mark. Jake.
That's it. None of us
can. Jake's gonna have a much easier way proving his Garland Green dream sequence than this.
No other characters talk to this little girl, whereas other characters do interact with and show up following Kip Raines.
That is true.
Whereas the only proof we have that the girl existed in Con Air is that Buscemi has a Ken doll in a later scene, but then he could have just found that in the pool.
He went to the pool, he found the Ken doll and took it with him.
What's a better empty pool scene? The card playing in Barb and Star with the empty pool, or this empty pool scene? Which one do you prefer?
Oh, Barb and Star's fantastic.
With the random guys just sitting there playing pool in the bottom, or playing solitaire on a poker table in an empty pool, or this scene?
I feel like this one has become more iconic.
Yeah.
I mean, we only get a glimpse of them here. It's a couple of weeks' time that we really dig into it. But this scene is one like I want people that have requested the Garden Green in a pool scene.
So I have a major statement to make right now, guys. The best John Malkovich moment is in this moment. When
is it the smirk?
Yes.
Is it the grin?
When Nicolas Cage
smile?
is being kind of flirty and just going like self-educated man, like he's just buttering up Garland, and Garland just eats it up. Garland smiles. Like that's like that's why you bring in John Malkovich. That's why you bring him in to do little moments like that where he just kind of he loved it. You could tell Cyrus loved that, like self-educated man. He's like, oh yeah, what a moment. That's why you get Cage and Malkovich, and that's one thing that bothers me with this movie when so many people are like, oh, it's dumb. I mean, yeah, it's insane, but there's little moments in here with very good actors that they're doing things that you don't typically see in action movies like this. So, yeah, I adore that smirk. That's my favorite Malkovich moment of the entire movie.
It's definitely up there.
I still like goes under the radar, yeah, for sure.
I still like his tongue work when he's being searched. As being just a real a real like Malkovich moment of just. But that smirk is up there too, yeah.
Because it's so slick. It's such a slick little moment, and it makes Cameron Poe so smart. That scene, like this is a very smart hero we have here, and just the way that he can, it's a perfect moment. I don't care. It's a perfect moment. It's that little interaction. It's lovely. It makes me so happy.
So what do you reckon is the most useful mammal?
Chicken?
Cow.
Mammal.
Oh yeah, cow. A cow? An ox?
Okay.
A donkey?
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking like horse maybe or
horse. Yeah. Well, probably
yeah.
horse.
This isn't a fun question.
It's just chicken first. Yeah, it's got to be a horse.
Yeah. Well, I guess it depends where you are.
Well, we're talking about the most useful non-human mammal, correct?
I mean, I'm counting humans in this list.
I would just say like human is pretty helpful.
The most useful mammal.
Like least useful mammal is like Piers Morgan or something. I don't know. But
Simon Cowell.
When it comes to animals,
he's helped so many people in this world.
Yeah. Like dogs and cats are pretty useful as pets for like therapy.
Yeah, but you can't really do much else outside of them being around. I guess
a huskies can like pull you.
Yeah, or like a Saint.
Yeah, but put them in Florida, they're done.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, Saint.
What are those Bernese mountain dogs? Or the mountain dogs in Germany where they have the whiskey around their neck? So
that's Saint.
Is that a Saint
Bernard?
Okay, yeah. Saint Bernard. Saint Bernard is pretty damn helpful.
I'll take that. Bring me whiskey.
But it's fluffy. It's good. It's
me whiskey.
And we'll bring you. If you ever get caught in a snowdrift or in an avalanche, it will dig you out and bring you whiskey, and then you're happy to see him, happy to get drunk. Perfect.
And I'll become more dehydrated.
Well, there's snow around. You can eat the snow.
It's true, and you can put the snow in the whiskey if it's too strong.
There you go. Cut that proof on there a little bit. Now I think you're the most useful mammal, Mark.
You could stretch it. You could pour a little bit, put ice in it, melt it down, and have a nice drink. It's not going to freeze.
I would just stay under the snow forever. It's like, this is a good life,
People find you 3 years later, and you look exactly the same.
I'm thriving. I'm Brandon Fraser, everyone. I'm Encino Man.
Yeah. This big dog keeps on coming back to base and heading back out again.
What's this dog doing
every 2 weeks.
And it brings you like a stereo. It brings you a little chest of drawers. And you just make a life up there.
Again.
You just made a life under the snow.
It takes 3 years for me to follow the dog. Let's try to get what's going on.
I've been tracking this dog for 3 years. I think he's up to something.
They find you and you're just watching an episode of Wings. And you're just eating you're eating like a wonderful pressed panini.
Like, how did you get this under here? It's like, well, it took a long time to really get acclimated here, but I think I finally figured out. After 6 months, I finally figured out what I really needed to do.
We spent $3 million trying to find you. 18 helicopters were flown around the area, and you've been here the whole time.
Start burying more people under the snow. It's a good life under here.
Yeah. Under the snow.
It's like this entire town disappeared at this avalanche, and they're thriving. They're doing better. This underground society of snow dwellers is doing fantastic.
They find them 17,000 years later, and it's like Atlantis.
Yeah, it's like get out of here! Don't come here anymore.
No humans.
I'm Namor. I'm very angry at you. Stay away from my snow kingdom.
No mammals allowed.
But I guess those people would probably evolve into something beyond repair at that point. People living at a, scary snow beast kid or something.
Oh, I want one of those.
A snow beast kid?
Yeah.
I know. Give me 10 minutes. I can find one for you.
Awesome.
I know a kingdom under the snow that's been cultivating these snow beast children for decades.
I'll take two.
Two of them. That's not get selfish now. Yes.
You guys are going on a quest. Your quest is to take a ring and throw it into a large vat of mud. The La Brea tar pits.
Okay.
And Jay, for you got to take it to the northernmost reaches of Scotland to throw it into a lock.
John O'Groats.
All right.
Okay.
So you're going from Tennessee to California. Jay,
Okay.
you're going all the way up to throw it into a lock.
A lot.
Now,
Hit nest.
what
Okay.
what human and what mammal are you taking with you on this journey? And none of those talking animals, like donkey.
Ah.
Those Don Quixote type
How
animals.
cool.
Yeah, so you could take any human, a movie character or not, but a human, not like a superhero, but who are human, but no, a human with no powers and an animal. What are you taking?
Well, if I am going to California, I'm going to take Jenny Lewis from The Wizard with me, since, she's good at cross-country treks.
Oh,
And she knows her way around, like, the truck stops and everything like that, and can talk to truckers and probably get us to where we need to go quicker.
and she's a musician too, so she could play
She's a
some
musician. She plays some dance. We can listen to some Relo Kiley and some Postal Service the entire way, and then Animal.
I created the charts from Postal Service when I created charts and graphs.
Oh,
I
sorry.
had made up the charts and graphs for that song.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I don't know
Wow,
where
I
they
didn't-
are. I did it years ago, but I just made a funny couple graphs about how terrible that guy is.
I think. God,
That's a great pick. And then what animal?
That's now Animal. Oh God, so I got Jenny Lewis with me and an Animal. God, I like that Saint Bernard with the whiskey, but he might not survive that. That's a long road trip. I need something sleek. I need like a gray. How about a greyhound? Take a greyhound.
Ooh.
They're quick. They're fleet of foot. And if I ever need some extra money, I can probably put them in a greyhound race. I don't think we do greyhound races anymore in America. I think we've banned those.
You can
But-
adopt a greyhound. I hear they're wonderful pets.
I know. See, they're great companions. They're kind of slithery like snakes, so they're almost like on the cusp of being a mammal and like a reptile a little bit. Plus, they're really cool looking.
I
I don't
love
know.
that.
I'm going with that. I'm going with a greyhound and Jenny Lewis. We're going cross country. We're gonna throw that ring in the La Brea Tar Pits.
Jay, who are you taking?
I'm taking a person that is an animal. I'm going to take Kermit the Frog. And we're going to cycle the whole way.
Oh, it sounds amazing. You two on those roads?
Yeah, he'll be fine. It gets pretty cold up there. I'm not sure how well frogs deal with the cold. I haven't really thought about that. We'll figure that out. But when we are cycling, we're going to go on a tandem bike. But there's me sometimes where I'll do all the cycling and he can just hang back and play me a song to kind of keep me motivated with his banjo.
Wow.
What's good about Kermit the Frog? You can just dress him up. Like even if it gets cold, you can put him in like a snow jacket or something like that, or a hoodie or a tie-dye hoodie if you find one.
You better give it to me.
Yeah, make sure you.
Who are you taking, Mark?
I love that movie Prey, so I'm going to take Naru, and I'm going to take Coco the dog. So those two would just hunt and kill, and if a predator comes, a Yautja comes, they're going to kill it. Totally safe. Medicine. She's really good with medicine. If I get a sprained
That's
ankle,
true.
or if I cut my leg on the road, and I need it healed, we're just going to make our way across country easily.
What are you bringing to this team?
My charm, intellect. I hike a lot, so I wouldn't.
His charts and graphs that he can't run.
I do hike a lot.
Data posts. Yeah.
I've done a lot of hiking, so I would. You know what I bring to it? I would just let them lead, and I would just follow behind them quietly. And then they would be like, you know what? I know nothing about you, but you don't bother me. And I'm like, hey, and like no one ever trusts Naru, so I would just be like, hey, you're the leader. Lead, please. Like I'm not telling you to lead, but like just do your thing. I'll follow. Can you teach me how to throw an axe? And then I would be good with an axe.
Sounds good.
I mean, that's a good way of going about it. Like you're kind of the guy who sits in the back. He's like, I actually know how to do all these things, but I'm gonna let you lead the way and teach me, because maybe it will teach you something about yourself. It'd be like one of those vision quests for you.
So by the end of the walk, are you saying Naru's a better person because of how much faith I put in her?
Yes, absolutely. And then we have a sequel that comes out that's even better than the first one.
Pray to back east.
Pray again. Eat, pray, love. Walk, pray, love.
Walk, pray, love. And throw axes.
Were you also
circumstances-
throwing the ring in the La Brea Tar Pits? Was that your mission?
No,
or was that was mine?
I'm going up to Portland.
Oh,
and
okay.
I'm gonna put it in the Rogue Brewery's mash, and it can disapparate there.
Wow. In the hazelnut beer they make, or
Yeah.
or the one that they made for the
Probably the
for
donut
the
one.
guy donut one. Oh, the voodoo donut
Yeah,
one.
voodoo donut. And then I'll go get some voodoo donuts.
Oh, and we'll have the remnants of the ring you threw in there.
Yeah. And then everyone eats it. So then, the good thing about it is it goes around the country and everyone drinks it. So when they go to like, hey, I need my ring. Wait, it's in the gullets of 74,000 people who drank it. Like, we'll never be able to piece it back together. Wait, now it's in the toilets. Like, that's my plan.
Oh man,
Sauron's not putting this thing back together.
he shouldn't be able to. Or that could be a very interesting movie where it's like we have to track down 74,000 people, see where they who drank this and then where they dispersed it. Yeah, charts. That's charts. You needed some charts and graphs for that, Mark.
Yeah, I could figure that out.
I
I would find the
figured.
biggest distribution points.
If you could figure out nothing better, you can figure out this. I think.
Say there's nothing better.
Feel like I must interject here.
We'll hike to some great heights together. Jay, do you ever listen to the Postal Service?
I never have.
It had one
I didn't
album.
know that was
so
a band.
it's easy listening.
Yeah, it's good. Like that, Nothing Better, and then Such Great Heights, which is a cover of Iron and
Wine.
yeah, and
Yeah.
Garden State. They covered it for. Wait, no. Was it the
No,
Iron and Wine cover?
Iron
of the
and
Postal
Wine.
Service?
Because Postal Service, Such Great Heights was by them, and then Iron and Wine covered it
For Garden State.
either for Garden State or something else. So
Man, there was a Postal Service and what's the name of his other band? The
Death Cab for Cutie.
Death Cab for Cutie. They were touring. He's touring, doing both.
Ben
both
Gibbard
albums.
and everything. Yeah, I'm actually going to the one in Philadelphia. So
Get me a shirt. They didn't. I'll pay you for the shipping. They
okay, we'll talk then.
they it just didn't come to Atlanta, so I can't go to it.
Yeah, they were nowhere near that. They were nowhere in the South. I think they were only doing like 17 dates.
So you went to
And,
Philly for it?
Yeah, that's the closest one at the best date. It was a Friday. We couldn't get off in the middle of the week. So
Very happy for you.
oh, thanks,
That's awesome.
man.
It's gonna be a
Yeah,
good time.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Philadelphia is fun-ish, I guess. So
Dude, just go to Wawa, get a
Yeah,
half-gallon jug of iced tea, and you'll fit right in.
down in Florida we had Wawa. Now in Tennessee we have Buc-ee's.
Oh,
Well, you got Buc-ee's like right outside. You're in Atlanta, so
I went to Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's is close.
It's huge,
It's huge. It's like Walmart took a dump inside of a gas station. It's incredible.
but it's cleaner.
It's
And
clean.
everyone's,
Nicer.
yeah, good
They're
service.
happier to work there. Good service, and they do like Jay's like, what the hell are you guys talking about?
I'm just trying to find a way we can start with onions and chicken feet. I've yet to find a segue, so I'm just
Well,
going
they
to
do sell chicken. You can buy like a chicken sandwich in a Buc-ee's, which
Yeah,
you
covered in
can get to the
onions.
tin.
Yeah,
So what circumstances led to there being onions and chicken feet in this first aid kit?
Stew.
Stew.
We're getting our stew on, baby.
That's not enough for us to.
There's a propane tank up in the up in the tower. So the guy probably hides his good stuff because the townsfolk are always looking for them juicy onions.
They look like decent onions. They're not.
Those
they
look like
haven't been
decent
there for a
onions.
while.
Oh yeah, those are
Yeah.
brand new onions.
Yeah.
Those are freshly harvested from the onion farm down the road that the cartel
In the
forgot to
desert.
destroy.
Yeah,
In the desert.
The desert onion farm.
The desert.
I love a desert onion farm.
They're
There's a
very
lot of,
rare.
it's very salty.
Yeah, super salty, salt of the earth type stuff.
Yeah.
But the onions and chicken feet, I'm just trying to put. It felt to me more like voodoo magic.
Ooh.
I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know. I guess I always associate like weird things in a box like with voodoo magic or something like that.
I think,
And maybe it's just something that because this is the cartel. Well, we think it's the cartel. So they always have their box of like onions and chicken feet or something like that going around with them.
well, Bad Boys 3, Will Smith hooked up with a witch.
Yeah. And then in Bad Boys 2, they're with the Zopound and they're like in the voodoo house and everything like that. Or they
Yeah.
I forgot what it is. They had something. They had like stuff floating on the walls and stuff like that. I don't know where this is going.
And Vikings films have always led us to believe that use bones or chicken feet for things to read the future.
Yes, like either in voodoo or Santeria or something like that. It's always like telling weird story about this. Weird story about my dad. When my dad used to work for the housing and urban development. He was inspector, and he had to go into some houses. And one of the houses had basically, he would go in, but he was with his buddy, and his buddy said, don't go in there because there was an egg hanging from a string in the door frame. And apparently that was bad luck if you passed the threshold of the house with the egg hanging on the string. I don't know, weird stuff. You know, I don't know about it all, but you know, I'm not here to rub another man's rhubarb and tell him he's wrong about what's
nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, so
there is an egg hanging inside this tent that Cameron walks past. There's not.
Was there?
That'd be great if it was, but there's not.
I mean, who knows? I mean,
I would just melt into my chair if there was.
Like,
You would
how
never
would you
see me
notice
again.
that? you just become an egg. You just like, oh,
What happened to Hoffmeyer? He got
I'm sure
egg.
doing
No,
egg.
he became an
Got
egg.
It turned into an egg. The most useful mammal, the egg.
You know how big of a the prices right now, a human-sized egg, like
Oh my
me, but
God.
an egg, you'd make a fortune. You know how big that? It would be like a giant omelet.
Dinosaur.
It would be like the size of those pancakes that John Candy made in Uncle Buck.
Oh yeah. Because how big are you, Mark? You're about what, 6 feet, 6'1", something like that.
I'm 6'3", 6'4", and I'm about
Oh, wow.
220.
Okay, yeah, you're quite an egg. You're a good egg. You're an egg. You're an egg of epic proportions.
Is that cannibalism if I turn into an egg?
No, because I think it's a pre. It would be a pre you. Well, no, hold on.
But it'd be
if you
me
turned
pre
into
me.
an egg, it would be pre Mark. Because that's what an egg would be, right?
Yeah.
Hey.
So it'd just be a large. Wait. So if someone just sat on it, it would be me.
I'm pretty sure you didn't initially hatch from an egg, Mark. So I don't know.
But if I
you-
turn
can't
into an
fix that.
egg, could you put me on some sawhorses, put some heat on me, and have me hatch eventually?
I think you would be like, I don't know. I think you would be like scrambled egg though, or something like that, because it would heat up, and you would just have to let you cultivate. I don't think you would survive as an egg, Mark.
I think I could do it.
Okay, well,
Let's find out. This time next week.
find out next week.
Hey,
but
Mark, what do you think about this? Well, Mark's an egg right now, so he can't respond to you.
Mark can't answer the phone right now. He's turned into an egg. We're gonna see if he can hatch. We're gonna see if we can hatch him when we put him on these sawhorses. He can heat him up for a while. We're gonna put this to the test.
6 weeks later, I just pop out. I'm like, "What's up, y'all?"
Oh, it's a fully grown Mark.
That was awesome in there. This Bernard kept bringing me whiskey.
It was great. It's like he didn't even have to put me under the snow. This was fantastic. This is it's like Matt's living under the snow and ice, and Mark was hatched from an egg, and Jay was the one who gave us the idea to hatch Mark from the egg.
You know what's great about being in an egg?
Thanks,
is
Jay.
You can't do any work, so you just get to. I never relax. So if I was in an egg for 6 weeks, I don't think I'd go mad. I think I would just sort of hang out.
So think about it like, you know, when what's her name? Who is it? Is it Barbara Eden who was in I Dream of Jeannie, who would just be hanging out in the lamp all the time? It's like you're a modern day like Barbara Eden,
Oh, it's amazing.
but in an egg.
What'd you do in there, Mark? Nothing.
Nothing. There was nothing to do.
Yeah, I was a formless void that formed into me.
It's like you were in the float studio for like 6 months, and it was just extreme sensory deprivation. You're just sitting there, just wafting around in your yolk, if you will.
I got Hugh Jackman working on me, reading my memories.
Yeah, it's like this is a perfect scenario for me. And then when you're bored, it's like, just break out of the egg. You're just covered in goop. No, you wouldn't be covered in goop because you became the man you are out of the egg.
It would just be me.
It'd be you
with my tie-dye outfit.
With your tie-dye outfit.
It's not like
how do you
the
get
unplugging
that?
scene in The Matrix. You're not.
No goo.
It's gooless.
Jay, if it involves me being gooey like that, I don't want it.
Not happening.
He doesn't want this egg story happening.
In a giant cream egg.
Whoa.
A giant Cadbury egg.
Yes, put me in there. That'd be amazing.
That'd be delicious. God, imagine living in a Cadbury egg. I don't know about you guys, but I love a Cadbury egg.
Yeah, none of that caramel crap either. The original Cadbury.
Oh yeah, I want the white and yellow goo.
Yeah, give me the white and yellow goo. Give me a magazine, like an Auto Trader.
Laminated doesn't get all messed up in there.
Yeah. Do you have a light in there? Well, I guess you
get used to it.
The sun is probably going to be able to break through a little bit of the shell a little bit, so you'll get a little bit of some sunlight maybe going through a little bit.
Yeah, you gotta put a blanket on it if I'm napping because just too much light comes in.
Yeah. Hopefully you don't get used as one of those experiments, as when you're in elementary school, and it's like, oh, you have to take care of this egg for 6 weeks. Remember? And it's like, oh, don't break the egg, because if you break the egg, obviously you can't become a parent.
Man, if you give a 6'3" egg to a child, that's a tall order.
That's the name of the movie. It's called Tall Order.
Whoa. I feel like Matthew Modine could have starred in this.
Matthew Modine, would he be the kid?
He'd be in the egg.
He'd be in the egg.
Oh, he'd be in the egg.
And the kid would be Fred Savage.
There you go. It all works out.
This summer, Matthew Modine is in a curse puts him in an egg, and Fred Savage has to watch after him. This summer, Tall Order.
Tall Order. I don't like the name of the movie anymore. We gotta think of a better one.
Eggs.
Short Order.
Eggs.
Short Order.
Order up.
Order up. Order up's good.
Yeah.
What comes first, the Modine or the egg?
I like that one.
What comes first is the name of the movie.
What comes first? But who's the villain in this movie? Is the person like trying to get
it's a chef.
egg?
It's a chef.
It's a chef.
I feel like this is a Groundhog Day scenario where Modine is essentially his own villain, where he like starts out as a terrible person and has become a better person, so goes on.
So he has to go in the egg, and he has to be in the egg, and he has to have this kid trust him, or he has to trust this kid to get him through his experience.
And local bullies want to use the egg to catapult onto a house as the ultimate egging.
It's on Halloween. Oh, God, now we thought of it all.
That would destroy the house. That's like a wrecking ball.
Does they build a catapult? Wait, you're a child who built a catapult and you plan on shooting a 6'3" egg?
I really hate old man.
House?
I hate old man Withers. He sucks. I'm gonna egg his house real good. I'm gonna destroy it.
It just destroys. It goes through the home.
Or it's actually Matthew Modine's house because he was mean to that kid, and he doesn't know that Matthew Modine's in the egg, and so it'd be like murder plus homelessness. But it wouldn't really matter anymore because
the egg crashes into the roof, it breaks apart, and he just lands on his own bed, like in position. How he woke up at the start of the film.
Like that scene in Lost Boys where he just falls into the bed, but he's got dirty jeans.
Yeah.
I like this movie. Come on, who are we pitching this to?
Wait, what's the name of this movie again? What came first?
What came first?
Yeah.
Why not? What came first? ... Do you put an ellipsis on it, or you can say what came first?
What came first? ... question mark.
Yeah. You need 3 dots. 4's too much. 2 isn't enough. You gotta. Oh
yeah. Okay. Well, I like this. I like this spec script we came up with. It all came from the onions and chicken legs.
This could have been a Touchstone movie in the 90s.
We should make this sooner, it will get poached.
Yeah. Don't put this podcast out until we get this thing saved. We get the screenplay saved for us or something like that. Mark, get to work.
It's done. I wrote it while we were talking.
Good.
I had a note that I loved Danny Trejo's binocular squint eyes, but then I realized that's just how he looks. That's just how his eyes are all the time. He always looks like he's squinting.
Can we give the sweat bucket award
focused
to him?
Yeah, I think so, because he's every episode we give a sweat bucket award to the sweatiest person on screen. Trejo has sweated clean through that shirt in many places, so he's a definite contender.
Yes. Who else is up?
Sweat bucket?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else would
he's
be up
the sweatiest person on screen.
Cybers still isn't sweating.
He isn't sweating. I mean, Diamond Dog.
Page is sweating.
Well, he's a little sweaty. Page is a little sweaty.
Cage, when he's looking for the first aid kit, he's got quite a sweaty arm.
Yeah.
Glistening. But I think
he's more.
I don't think Trejo's had it yet.
Yeah.
It's Trejo.
Let's spread the love.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, his like you would never see Vin Diesel with armpit sweat like that.
No, he doesn't sweat. He glistens.
Exactly.
I think another contender is Swamp Thing. We get a topless Swamp Thing in this scene.
We do. We get almost everybody's topless. I think the only person who doesn't get topless, maybe in this whole movie, is Malkovich. I think Cyrus is the only one who never gets topless.
Pretty much. But like at the start of this chapter,
at least.
MC Gainey is fully clothed. He still has his undershirt and his shirt on, and then
he's shirtless.
30 seconds later, he's stripped down to the waist. So he's got to be sweaty. Yeah. He's not a small guy.
Well, see, I think we should give him the sweat bucket award when his cab gets flooded.
Yes, okay. Oh god, a fire truck full of sweat.
MC Gainey sweat. They could be so much salt, it would be a fish tank. But it's
God, that's the real Swamp Thing.
Can we give it to Danny Trejo? Let's spread the love.
Yeah. Have fun with you, man.
I love, it's very unselfish of him too to have such great armpit sweat.
Yeah.
Well, he likes to spread the love too.
Mm-hmm. How many movies can you think of with armpit sweat?
Broadcast news.
Oh yeah,
That's pit sweat.
Yeah.
That's flop sweat one, I think, isn't it?
Armpit
That's it. That's all I can think of right now.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other ones. I'm sure there's some.
Hey, we got another. Oh gosh, what's his name in broadcast news?
Brooks.
Yeah, Brooks. We had another Brooks mention. That's 2 Brooks mentions in this.
Yeah, man, Albert Brooks for the win. Good for
Isn't
him.
Holly Hunter the best?
I mean, that film is just the best.
Raising Arizona.
The Incredibles.
Oh yeah, I love broadcast news.
Me too.
Holly
As
Hunter
I love how Trejo waits until he climbs up on top of the radio tower roof when he starts whistling and yelling at people when he has a good whistle.
Oh yeah.
I reckon, and they look up before Dog looks up before he starts whipping his shirt around. He just wants to take his shirt off and climb up on the roof.
He was just waiting for that moment. That was his moment. It's like, shirt's got to come off.
Yeah. Just rips it off. Yeah. Then he just starts doing like a dance. Like, wait.
Yeah.
The We Got Company trope, but it works here. He says it twice.
And I love how Diamond Dog's like 10 to 12 minutes.
10 to 12 minutes. He knows.
That's
Like,
very
he's been-
specific, Diamond
He's
Dog.
been in
He's
this
got Legolas vision. He can see what the cars they're driving and what's going on.
You see how much dirt they're kicking up? That means they're moving 55 miles an hour. They're over 2 miles away. Wait, that'd be 2 minutes. Never mind.
They're doing whatever math
Like
it
the
takes
wind.
to work out. He'll be
Yeah.
here in 10 to 12 minutes.
He's like Rain Man looking through all the possibilities, like all the numbers are in front of him, like
Oh, that'd be
10 to
amazing.
12 minutes.
He goes full Chuck and just sees it.
Yes. he sees the timing of the cops arriving.
So
Wait.
I was looking up the saying, many hands make light work. That's Joe's dad taught him. And it was originally written down by an English playwright called John Hayward. He is the origin story for so many sayings. So like, haste makes waste, out of sight, out of mind.
Oh.
Make hay when the sun shines, look before you leap. 2 heads are better than 1. Beggars can't be choosers. All's well that ends well. I know which side my bread is buttered. 1 good turn deserves another. Penny for your thoughts. These are all come from the same
Whoa.
guy. He's
That's
got a
great.
monopoly on epigrams.
Was he like Joaquin Phoenix from Her, just coming up with
Some of the things.
Cards?
He's like, cards. He's writing his.
No, I reckon he was just the first person to write these down. He probably heard them from other people, and he's just the first guy.
So he had the idea of like, I need a pen.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a quill, if you will, I guess.
Because like he wrote all of these down between like 1542 and 1546. That's not a long amount of time to come up with many of our base sayings for everyday life. So I think he's collected them over the years.
he just went to pubs, Jay.
You went to pubs,
Yeah, exactly.
drunk people's like, all's well that ends well. It's like, good saying.
Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm writing that one down. All right.
Like, who's looking at the horse?
Maybe he gets the person really bombed then, so then they don't remember the next day, so that people don't remember saying that, so then they're not like, hey, I think I told him that back in 1483.
Yeah, I remember that day.
Right.
I was.
It
I got
says
roofied
here,
by this guy.
he was English playwright and serial killer. Hang on, left a trail of bodies.
It's like everybody had something good to see. He wrote a little note on their chest, like, "All's well that ends well." It's like, oh no, it's the old,
What if his
old well that
sayings
ends well
was-
killer.
One of his sayings was "better late than never," and that's what he meant by all of the people that gave him the sayings. Better late. Now you're late. Now you're gone.
David Caruso
like-
comes in, takes his glasses off. He's like, everyone he's killed has been very quippy.
Hang on, I'll write that down, and now you're next.
Put this out there. Any quippy people in pubs, keep your mouth shut. Don't give him good material. He won't kill
Yeah. If you know where your bread's buttered, you'll shut up.
you. The guy knows what's up when he goes to a bar, and the people are like, if you eat 3 puddings, you're going to want a 4th one. It's a setup.
He hit this nail right on the head.
It's a setup.
We
You
need
see a rock.
We need another
Throw it.
Time After Time movie where we have to catch this guy who wrote all these sayings down.
Oh, this is another
Some
good
of these
movie.
sayings did not catch on or have been revised. Would ye both eat your cake and have your cake has been simplified since that was written. Also, when he should get aught, each finger is a thumb. I don't know.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know where that's coming
Like,
from.
does he want a whole handful of thumbs?
Tread on a worm.
He's all thumbs.
Tread a worm on the tail, and it must turn again.
What?
I think it's just.
Somebody's at work.
Hey, Mom, close the door. I'm trying to write. Like, that one accidentally got in there. Oh,
Stew for dinner again, please.
yeah. I love it. People are out there just doing bad quotes to not get killed by a potential serial killer.
Yeah.
And someone accidentally says one, they're like, no!
It's like, you're next.
A hole appears beneath them and he gets sucked out. But in the script, Poe and Viking go together to get the in the fuel truck. And Viking gets his first, and he goes, "Hey Dixie, there's the fuel truck, go get it." Is a line cut from the script of Viking yelling, calling Poe Dixie. That's another
Dixie?
kind of southern nickname he didn't pick up in this one. And also, that's a line Viking doesn't get to say. So, but when Poe gets to the fuel truck, he dumps all the fuel out of it. Which I quite like. We don't see him do that. He just carries a lot of rope carrying in the scene because he's carrying some rope. Being Rames is carrying the heck out of some rope.
That's
he's got it right around the shoulder. Big old rope. Good Cyrus.
Made me tired. That's a lot of rope.
And something you've mentioned on a previous chapter, Mark, Conrad shows up with a cart laden with, in the script says, booze, a boombox, CDs, dirty magazines, and Cyrus takes and lights a cigar from it. So that's how we get to the Lynyrd Skynyrd later in the film. That's where that comes from, is from this cart that.
They never have that. That's fun.
They never had. Yeah.
This is what what I loved about these movies. They would cut out so many scenes and put them in the deleted scenes on your DVD or Blu-ray. You're like, why did they take that out? Because that was kind of an important thing. Because it would just be like, scene this over to scene that. Like, well, yeah, at least I know how it happened. Because it wasn't important to Simon West and the crew.
Sally could have just picked it up in a box, right? Sally could have taken the dress and then carried the box over like, this is for you, boy. You know what I mean? Like, cut it all down into one thing.
Well, we're left with what we got, Mark.
Yeah.
Would you watch a 3-hour Con Air movie?
Kill on you. We're left with what we've got.
Oh no! He's here.
It's The Ring in 7 days. They're gonna come for you.
7 days.
Matt, did you just ask two people who have spent like 2/3 of a year to make Con Air if we watch a 3-hour cut of it? Because we would.
I want to see where the line of like, what's the line? What is the line? Well, you were talking about good sight lines earlier in this podcast. So, what's the line of how long of a Bruckheimer film you could, I guess, deal with?
I think this one would be the best, just simply because there's so many character actors. You could find so many good moments with these actors. And as much as I love The Rock, I feel like it would be exhausting. And I love The Rock, but another 2 hours of it would be... I couldn't do it. But this one, I think there's so many interesting people that I could easily watch a 49-hour cut of Con Air.
I'm just looking at Bruckheimer's films.
Yeah.
No one, for some reason, no one has done a ranking of his films by length, which I can't understand why that doesn't exist. But I'm guessing it's probably one of the Pirates of the Caribbean films. Some of those are too long.
They got longer as they went on, I feel, too. Yeah. Like, the sequels just got longer and longer and longer and longer.
Bad Boys 2 is 2.5 hours, and that got to me, Jay. Sorry to interrupt, Jay, but that got to me.
I mean, Dead Man Tell No Tales is 129 minutes. That's not that long. Still too long. 137 for A Stranger's Tides. This is very boring for people to listen to.
Just going to click on Coyote Ugly.
The load. 169 minutes for Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End.
Jesus, that was the third one, right?
Yeah, that was the third one. One with the where Jack Sparrow goes to the underworld.
Yeah, he goes
to the ocean of crabs. A scene I love. I love that when the stones turn into crabs. That's a fantastic scene. I can't remember the rest of that film.
All right.
I love that.
All right, y'all. There's a 4-hour cut of one Bruckheimer movie, I'm taking Beverly Hills Cop because Eddie Murphy was
riffing the whole time. Riff.
Eddie Murphy brought his A+++ game in that. He was on fire. So to watch him in a long cut, I would do it. Just sauntering around LA making fun of people. Yes, do it.
I like it.
Coyote Ugly. No, not a bad film. No.
It would be like, but the Cocktail meets Coyote Ugly. They open a bar. Yep. She just performs an hour-long concert, Jay.
G-Force is a Brooke Clement film.
Right in the middle, there's an hour-long concert. Just like, what the hell's
Go
going
fight
on?
the moonlight.
No, that's it. There's the central hour where they're fighting Moonlight.
Here it comes. It's Moonfall.
Comes in later, like, I told you not to do this.
Coyote Ugly 2, Moonfall. Jay, what do you think?
Yeah, definitely.
It's called Coyote Moon. That's fine.
Maria Bellows just punching moon chunks.
Just punching.
Tyra Banks breaks 2 bottles and starts stabbing moon chunks. Piper Perabo hits one with a guitar.
That's her name. I couldn't think of it.
Piper Perabo. Yeah. Who are the other 2 girls? Those names elude me.
It was the one from the vampire movie.
Yeah.
Isabella Miko.
The one from the vampire.
The one from that vampire movie.
Bridget Moynihan was one of them.
Bridget Moynihan, yes. Okay, she was in this, yes.
They were the bar. Johnny Knoxville's in it. He was a college guy.
Oh, okay. He's credited as college guy?
Mm-hmm. Wait,
I do like the fact that...
Oh, sorry.
No, I like the fact that Tyra Banks is in it for a minute and just fucks off.
And she gets shown on most of the trailers.
Yeah, she's like, oh man, I'm going to see a Tyra Banks movie. Yeah, for 2 minutes, and it's like the first 2 minutes of the movie, and she's like, I'm out of here, guys. See you later. And that makes room for Piper Perabo. It's like, oh man, Piper Perabo.
Just fighting the moonlight.
Oh, fighting the moonlight.
What was in Coyote Ugly?
Who?
Bud Cort from Harold and Maude.
John Goodman's the dad. It's a huge cast.
Yeah.
Melanie Linsky's in it.
She is?
Yeah.
Michael Bay.
Is she the friend or something like that? Like Piper Parabo's friend or something like that?
Probably. How's that guy doing? She calls her on the phone.
That is her.
I'm a readily available friend who just talks to you about your relationships.
Yeah, it's her best friend Gloria from back home.
Even though I'm incredibly talented and I've been in some really good movies, I'm on the phone with you.
I'm on the phone with you because you're the star now, Piper. You're the new star.
What?
I was in
You're not in The Last of Us.
She is. She's made her way.
Get it, Mel.
Last of Us and Yellow Jackets.
Have you guys watched I'm Not at Home in This World Anymore with her in it?
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah, it's on my list.
Oh my gosh. There's a scene with a throwing star that is just... I don't feel at home in this world anymore. There's a throwing star scene that just makes me so happy.
I know you're talking about.
I love this movie.
That movie is great. That movie is an underrated little gem. One of the good things that Netflix picked up as a exclusive.
My boy Malcolm Blair directed it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was his first movie too. Yeah. First Malcolm Blair movie.
Blue Ruin, baby.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just naming movies.
Movies.
Jay, what else we got here? How many times?
I mean, that's all the notes I have. I think I got John Cusack's peeking through cracks is all the note I had, but that's about all I got.
Yeah, that's barely it. Sereno's plotting his escape. I guess you could say.
Yeah.
He's plotting something.
He's concerned. He's concerned that Poe might find his guys, and instead his guys find Poe.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I like Cyrus kind of just jogs along, not in any great rush to catch up to Doc at the end. It's just kind of do.
Yeah. He's in a different movie.
Yeah, it's fine. That's all I had. So, Matt, do you have any more notes for this film or any more thoughts on the film as a whole?
No, this was an action-packed 2.5 minutes sequence where we really got down and dirty. We were digging into crates for everything in this scene right here.
Finding onions and chicken feet.
The chicken feet and the onions was the thing I really wanted your guys' opinion on it, and it went nowhere except for the movie, the new blockbuster movie coming out in 2026. What are we calling it again? What came first?
What came first? Yeah. And I understand.
So at least we got that out of this movie.
Chicken feet are a delicacy in many countries, but I do not like them. They are very off-putting. I find when I've been to China, I've seen people eat them. It really put me off food, especially when people eat chicken feet.
I just don't feel like it's a lot of people do eat, like every part of the chicken gets eaten, the chicken feet, the chicken, the livers, everything else in between. But chicken feet doesn't look like there's enough in there to really make.
Once you take the surface off, it's kind of gelatinous. It's like soft, and it just sounds horrible. Like I went there on a work trip to China, and my boss, we had like numerous dishes were put out. Chicken feet was amongst them. I was like, thanks, but no thanks. I tried most other things. The one other thing I didn't try was what they called beef speck, which was really long strips of fat, just like a really long. And my boss had one.
See, I like that.
But it was so long that he felt it in his stomach whilst he was still chewing it. And that, I think it was the last thing he ate that day, because that just was such a weird feeling. He couldn't deal with it. It's like twice the length of spaghetti. Kind of thing.
He was just like eating it and just letting it go down his gullet, so it just continuously was. So he didn't like.
Yeah, basically.
I would have. Okay, if I was him, I'm not speaking. Maybe this way he likes to eat his fat lines or whatever it is, like that. Just like. It's down his throat. It just go all the way down.
That's what happened. He's eating it like it was like sucking it up.
A whole entire plate. It's like instead of spaghetti, you get the fat lines or something like that. We got speck, beef speck.
That's what I think they called it. Yeah.
Okay. I'd give it a try. Yeah.
That's all I had.
Why not?
And so, Matt, where can the listeners find you? What we've got to plug?
Oh, simplistic.reviews. You find all the good stuff. We got our 200th episode is coming out this month, which is exciting. Yeah, I don't know how we did it, but we got the 200 episodes. It's going to be a fun little commentary. Can't tell anybody what it is yet. You'll find out in the middle of the month on the 15th. And then we start a new era for Simplistic Reviews. Or should I say a new error, because that's what this podcast has been. Just a giant erroneous thing that exists in the internet that nobody listens to. But if you want to listen to it, since everybody listens to this podcast, which is a giant success, I hope, for you guys, moderate success. It's a middling. And this middling podcast called the Con Air Podcast. Yeah, check out Simplistic Reviews. It's tons of fun, reviews and everything else in between, commentaries and all sorts of fun podcasts to listen to on your ride to work, or the ride to your girlfriend's house, or the ride to your boyfriend's house, or riding a bike with Kermit the Frog across the country, or when you're in a semi-truck with Jamie Lewis and your Greyhound and you're betting on truckers who can win or drive the quickest, or whatever Mark decided he wanted to invite on his road trip. I forgot what it was. What was it, Mark?
Naru and the dog, Coco.
Yeah. Well, you can learn how to tie a rope around an axe to defeat a Yautja warrior. You could do all that and more at Simplistic.Reviews.
Nice. I listen every month. I often skip the commentaries for films I haven't seen.
Yeah, it doesn't really. It doesn't always make sense.
But I listen to the rest of it, and Mark and I have dropped up on numerous sketches and skits that you've done.
You guys are great partners of the show. We do appreciate your vocal range and your vocal stylings. And
when I often get an email from DJ like, "How's your Ian McShane?" I was like, "It doesn't exist, but I'll give it a go." It still does not exist. That was the hardest one I couldn't do. It was Ian McShane. I cannot do that at all.
It's like, what Ian McShane would it? It's like Ian McShane from Deadwood, or is it Ian
Lovejoy?
Yeah, which Ian McShane are you going for, I guess? So I don't know.
I couldn't do any of them. I just like a bit of a gravel and spoke like that. But there we are. So great. Well, thank you for joining us, Matt. Mark, what do you got to plug?
Let's see. Movies, Films, and Flicks. Movies, Films on FLX, the podcast. Actually, DJ Valentine joined me to talk about our 5 favorite moments from the John Wick trilogy. So that'll be up by the time this episode's out. So go listen to that. We had a good time. We came up with a new side thing about how John Wick kills all of the assassins in the world, but the one assassin who's like, I'm not going to die. There's like a huge power vacuum, and he's like the only assassin left, so he makes a ton of money, and he starts up another hotel called the Planetary, and it rivals the Continental, just because he didn't die. Like, so by default, he becomes the world's best hitman.
I like this story. I like this Elseworlds John Wick story we have going on.
He's the one guy who's like, I'm not doing that. And then so he keeps watching all the great people get killed. He's like, wait, I think I'm the number 7th best hitman on the planet. Wait, I'm the number 6th best. Wait, I just became the 4th. Wait, I'm number 2 now? He got 2 in a row? Wait, 0?
So who plays this guy? I'm picturing Benedict Wong.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, Benedict Wong.
He starts out as like the 300th best hitman, becomes the first.
Yeah, he started off at number 383. And then he became
It's a Johnny English scenario where all the good spies get killed.
Exactly. You're the best of what's left.
But he's just middling assassin. It's like, yeah, I killed this guy the other day. I forgot his name. I don't think I meant to kill him. I think, God damn it. Messed up again. Drop the links.
He sees Wick going by him after he gets a text message, and he just kind of gives him a peace sign, and Wick's like, we're good.
Stay in your lane, I'll stay in mine.
Yeah, and then he, by default, becomes the world's number one assassin. Because there's no one.
And then he opens up the planetarium.
Yeah.
I like this
I like it.
Yeah. So, of course, we came up with a new movie.
Look forward to listening to that. Listeners, you can hear me and Mark over on Deep Blue Sea, the podcast, talking about Deep Blue Sea adjacent films or scenes. Check out our Jurassic World trilogy that we're going through the scenes of the Mosasaur at the moment. And you can listen to me sometimes once a month hosting Lampardy over on the Lamcast, movie trivia based on Jeopardy. That's always fun. And read my writing over at lifeversusfilm.com. You can follow this podcast at ConAirPod on Twitter or Instagram. And thanks once again for Chapter 26. Thanks once again to our guest, Matt Stewart.
I'm a helpful mammal. Thanks for letting me be a helpful mammal on this podcast.
Anytime. I've been Jake Lewis.
And I'm Mark Hoffmeyer.
Come back next week or the bunny gets it.
Sigh.
Anara!